right, today we're talking about solving area equations. Essential question is, how do you use equations to solve problems about area of rectangles, parallelograms, trapezoids, and triangles? So you need to have out the notes. We're going to fill them out together. First thing, number one, determine the formula that will be used based on the shape. So in the problem, it's going to state what shape you're using. Then, once you know that shape, you want to write down the formula and fill in the formula with all the available information. You want to do any math on the side with the variable to get the variable. I think that's what it's supposed to be. Hang on, let me look. Last year, here we go. Oh, to get the coefficient and variable by itself. Remember, the coefficient is that number that's attached to the variable. That's right in front of it. Then solve the one-step equation using division. So the very first problem says a window shaped like a parallelogram. I want you to underline the shape that it gives you. So we have a parallelogram. And I want us to write out over here its formula. A equals base times height for a parallelogram. It says it has an area of 18 square feet. So when we have area, we want to fill that information in our formula. So 18, so I want to put 18 under A equals, and the height of the window is 3.5. So we have, and it says how long is the base? So we know that B is our variable. 3.5 is our height. So for this problem, I am looking for the base. Now you can rewrite the problem to make it where it looks right to you. For me, I would write it like this. 3.5 B equals 18. Well, because I have 3.5 smashed up against a variable, that means that's a coefficient, that means I'm dividing here. So divide, because this is multiplying, so I divide 3.5, cancels, divide by 3.5. Now you could have put 0.5 there, since there's only one fraction in this problem, if that's what you wanted, and go from there. But I'm going to keep it as a fraction because that's how it shows it in the problem. Remember, when you have a fraction, you want to go top down. So when I rewrite it, I'm going to write 18 over 1 divided by, I got to take 3.5 and I got to turn it into a into an improper fraction. So that gives me what? What's it give me? 7 over 2. 7 over 2. 7 over 2. So I'm going to keep, change, flip. So for this problem, is there any cross simplifying I can do? Nope. So 18 times 2?
36.
36 over 7. So that means for this one, I'm going to need the bottoms out. It's going to go in 5 times, 35, 1. Now I got to do my bus stops. So my answer is 5 and 1, 7. So I'm saying that the base, B, equals 5 and 1, 7 feet. this problem, what was I going to say? I can't remember. Again, you could have kept it, it could have been 3.5, or you could have done it like we did. Either way is fine. You're still going to get 3 1/7. It's probably going to have been harder if you would have kept it as a decimal, because then you would have had a lot of decimals and it could have been repeating or never ending. So when they give you a fraction, keep it that way. I don't know what the decimal is for 1/7, but I don't think it's quick. I think there's a lot of decimals that go into it and it could be repeating. So my suggestion, if it's a fraction, keep it a fraction. Don't be scared of them. Okay, let's go to the next one. The next one says a triangular cell. Well, right there they gave me a shape. So I'm going to underline triangular, and I'm going to fill out the formula. Area equals half base height. So a triangular cell has a base length of 2.5 meters. So a base. So I'm going to keep the half, 2.5. The area is 3.75. And then we have a H here. Because it says, how tall is it? How tall is your height, right? If I asked you how tall you were, you're going to say, I am 2 feet. You know, my height's 2 feet. Or obviously you're not 2 feet, but you know, you're like, I'm 4 foot, whatever. Okay, 5 foot. Harley's like 10 foot. All right, so for this problem, we want to take, and we have, you want to do any math that's on the same side as the variable. Any math, okay? So that means we're going to do half of 2.5. Now, mentally halving 2.5 is going to be a little bit more difficult. So remember, I can multiply by 0.5. You divide by 2, multiply by 0.5. Those are your two options. So 2.5 times 0.5 by 2, 12, 1 decimal place. So, or actually 2 decimal places, I'm sorry. 2 decimal places, there's 1, 2. Okay, so 1.25H equals 3.75. What's our coefficient in this problem?
H.
Coefficient? 1.25. Okay, so we're going to divide by our coefficient. Divide by 1.25. Cancels. Divide by 1.25. So for this problem, when I bottoms it out, 1.25 divided by 3.75. Remember, there's a decimal in your divisor. You got to move it. So 1, 2, 1, 2. That's going to go in 3 times, and that ends up being even. So my height here is 3. My height is 3. All right? Now, this one's going to be a little bit more work.
What?
Yeah.
More? Oh, that's because.
All right, so again, we're just putting in those puzzle pieces. All right. A section in a stained glass window is shaped like a trapezoid. Trapezoid. So that gives me A equals half H base 1 plus base 2. The top base is 4 and the bottom base is 2.5 centimeters. Doesn't matter where you put them, stick them in there. So 4 plus 2.5 half. On trapezoid, guys, you're always going to be looking for the height. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you that. On a trapezoid, you're never going to be finding a missing base. Okay? You're always going to be finding the height. So our area is 3.9. So on this one, I'm going to need to do the math that's on the same side as the variable. So the math that we can do first is 4 plus 2.5. And what do I get? 6.5. So 6.5 h half equals 3.9. So now I gotta do what to the 6.5? I gotta half it. So I can multiply it by?
25.
So 6.5 times 0.5. 2 times gives me 3.25h. A lot of work, yes I know. Again, if you're watching this video, you can pause if necessary. All right, so we are going to be dividing here because this is multiplying. So our coefficient here is 3.25, so we're going to be dividing by 3.25. They cancel, divide by 3.25, and this is where the work comes in. Bottoms out. One, two. How many times I got to move it in the dividend? Twice. So, 1, 2. I'm going to help us out here so we can get a little farther or go a little faster. So it's going to go in 1 time, which is 325. When we subtract, we get 65. That means we need to add a 0. The decimal's already there. We bring it down. And that's going to go in 2 times. And it's 650. And it zeroes out here. So for this answer, my height equals 1.2 centimeters. Now, how can we know that we're right on all these problems? What can we do to know that we're right? Jonathan, what do you think we can do?
Multiply 1.2 and 6.5.
Okay. Somebody give me a little bit easier explanation.
You could write down the formula and fill it out.
All right, so we write down the formula, and we can put 1.2 into the height. And when we do that here, it should, when we work all this out, we should get an answer of 3.9. And if we don't, we know we're wrong. So on all these problems, we can know for sure whether we are right or wrong. Okay? All right, this is where we're going to stop. We're going to go ahead and write this in our math notebook. So we will work on this tomorrow and finish it up. So yesterday in our table of contents, which we weren't able to fill out that because I was not here, we had on 93 bell ringer. What was our bell ringer week? 24? 26. 26. And then today is, I think it's 13.4. It is. No. 13.3. 13.3, solving area equations. CN. Okay, that's it for today. See you guys later.
Bye.